On this episode of Arts Weekly, I'm speaking with Will Dawson from the Wagon Wheel Theatre.
There will be a couple members from Disney who will be here to see the show.
And Jim and Linda Winger from the Northern Bluegrass Association.
We have some softer music. We have a group coming out of Tennessee, which is a bunch of kids from college.
This is Arts Weekly.
Arts Weekly is a production of the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design. IPFW, the energy of arts.
Hello, I'm Maggie Hunter, sitting in for Chuck O'Connor, and this is Arts Weekly. Joining me is Will Dawson, Marketing Director from the Wagon Wheel Theatre, here to talk about the upcoming summer season. Hi, Will. Glad to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Maggie.
Wow. How long have you been with the Wagon Wheel Theatre?
Well, I've been with Wagon Wheel now, I guess, for going on 2 months, so I guess I'm a veteran.
Okay, so you're a veteran of 2 months with Wagon Wheel.
Right.
Where were you before Warsaw?
I was working for the Christian Broadcasting Network in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
The show The 700 Club. I was a reporter and a producer there.
Okay, so you're used to all of these surroundings here in the television
With the cameras,
studio.
yeah, I'm fairly familiar with it. I don't think you ever get used to it, though.
Before we go over the season, could you tell our audience a little bit about the Wagon Wheel Theatre? I know it's in Warsaw,
Sure.
but if you can tell us a little bit about the history of the theater and how people can find it.
Right. The Wagon Wheel Theatre is now in its 56th season, so it's really been a staple in the Warsaw community for a good number of years. There's some familiarity, and it's a theater in the round, which is unique in and of itself. There are not that many, I guess, in the country anymore.
Right.
But the theater in the round really lends itself to, well, theater, it's really a 3D experience, but when you get to be in a round, you really experience theater in a way that you haven't before. It's that extra 3D experience, I guess. And it sits right off of 30, so it's easy to get right off of 30 and you pull on to Center Street in Warsaw. So
And it's right there.
it's right there.
And it's a professional theater, correct?
It is a professional theater, yeah, and that's something that a lot of people, I guess, probably wouldn't know, or you don't really think. You see kind of the small 800 seats, which is fairly small for a theater.
Okay.
Okay.
To me, that's large,
All
but
right.
that's okay.
But we do, yeah, we have outstanding talent that comes in. We cast these shows a couple of months prior to the entire six shows.
Okay.
And then while one of the shows is being performed on stage, they're rehearsing for the next show.
Okay.
These actors are fantastic. The music is great, and there's a lot of energy, and a lot of the dance numbers reflect that as well.
Okay. And where do you pull these actors from? I mean, where do you go? I mean, I'm sure you have auditions
Right.
to do this. So where historically, let's say, does Wagon Wheel go for auditions for their theater and their season?
Right, and we have a presence at Western Michigan University. We hold auditions in Chicago and also in New York.
Okay.
So we really get some of the most talented up-and-coming stars. And the Wagon Wheel Theatre has a really good reputation, too, of being a place that is non-equity, but it's a place that a lot of people want to come and be a part of the experience there.
So it's a great training ground for these actors to then go on to other things.
Absolutely.
Such as
Broadway, television, feature film. We've had dozens and dozens of people who have been on stage. I think of McLean Stevenson from MASH that's been on stage there, and Peter Reckel, who was Bo Brady on Days of Our Lives.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, so there have been a number of people, and you know, that's going back a ways, but we have people now who are on Broadway and have been involved in Tony Award-winning programs too.
Oh, That's great. Now, in addition to the plays that are produced at Wagon Wheel, you also do concerts. But you are holding a benefit concert for the Kosciuszko County Cancer Care Fund on May the 20th. Can you just tell us a little bit about that and if the public is invited to something like this?
They are, yeah. We are selling adults and student tickets. And like you mentioned, all of that benefits the Kosciuszko County Cancer Center.
That's hard to say with all
It
those
is.
C's,
It's K and I think 3 C's and an F. So, yeah, but the public is invited. And basically what it is, it's an American Idol type talent show that showcases, well, it showcases our community. And we're going to have singers and, I guess, acts of different kinds, of all ages, kids, and it's just a lot of fun. It brings people out from our community and it just goes to a great cause.
Okay, that's a great opportunity for everyone. All right, so let's get into your season.
Okay.
You've got an exciting season that's going on at
Absolutely,
Wagon
yeah,
Wheel.
we're excited.
Now, the first thing, or the first play that you're doing is Tarzan. So tell us a little bit about that. Now, that's the Walt Disney Tarzan, correct?
It is, yeah. It's based on the 2003 animated film by Disney, and Phil Collins did the score for that. It was on Broadway several years ago and was met with some success. And then it is only now a regional premiere for us. It's the first time that it's been seen east of the Mississippi since it was on Broadway. And Tarzan is an exciting, active, athletic show. There will be, it wouldn't be Tarzan if he wasn't swinging from the vines somewhere. So we have to somehow figure out how to get that.
That was the question I was going to ask you, is
Yeah.
how are you going to fly Tarzan in? I mean, because that's what he does. He goes from tree to tree, or he flies in during the action of the play.
Right, and the great thing about the theater in the round for this show will be that he will swing probably on each sides of our lighting grid through the audience.
Oh, okay.
So we have an aisleway. He won't be hitting anybody in the back of the head as he swings through the jungle, but yeah, we have a nice little aisleway that he'll be able to swing down, and there will be apes in the show as well.
Oh, great.
His ape family that
Yeah.
raises him, they'll be up in the trees. I think we'll have a suspended set as well too. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. And also, there will be a couple members from Disney who will be here to see the show.
Okay.
Because it will be playing again in July, I think in Boston.
Okay.
So yeah, they're excited about it. We're excited about it. It should prove to be a lot of family fun.
Boy, it sounds like a lot of fun. Now, the next one you're doing is also very family-friendly, Hairspray.
Right.
Right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So Tracy Turnblad, the unlikely hero
Yes.
from Baltimore, goes on the Corny Collins show, and really becomes a star overnight. And she teaches us a lot about classism, racism in America in the 1960s,
Right.
and really teaches you to find not the outer beauty, but the inner beauty.
Okay. I mean, the season just like I said, sounds so family-friendly.
Right.
Have you already cast all of these shows prior to them coming to there? I mean, is Hairspray already been cast?
Right, it already has been.
Okay.
Prior to, about a month prior to, I guess. So, again, like you, we will have the performers on stage for Tarzan, and the performers for Hairspray will be backstage working on that and getting it ready.
Getting everything prepared. And then you have State Fair. Now, I love State Fair. It started out it didn't start out as a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical.
Correct.
It really started out as a movie, and then they turned it into a
Right.
musical. So what a great way to bring State Fair, especially with all of the fairs that happen in Indiana during the summer.
That's exactly right, and we're hoping to do something along with the Kosciuszko County Fair,
Oh,
some
okay,
promotions there, and it's such a classic theatrical production. 1945, I think, is when they first did that, and then
Yeah.
in the 60s they did. Pat Boone remade it.
Oh my goodness,
and,
yeah.
And so and then it had some success on Broadway, and still recently has. So that was one of those films that become, like you mentioned, become a theatrical production, and that doesn't happen very often. It did that way with with Hairspray back in 1988, became a Broadway. Went to Broadway,
Went to
and
Broadway,
then is
right.
back and had some success recently
Right.
in Hollywood.
And then you're doing Big River, the story about Huckleberry Finn.
Right.
and-
In 1884, Mark Twain, his novel, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and all the trouble Huck gets into with his friend Tom Sawyer, and that was one of the shows that we have done in the past, and it was one of the ones that our audience overwhelmingly said, please bring back. It was a gorgeous show, just nicely directed, and it was just one of those ones that people wanted to come back and see.
Now, where do you get your younger actors for these productions? I know with Tarzan, there's going to be an audition for a young Tarzan.
Right.
And then with Big River, I know there's also children actors in that. So where do you find your children
There
actors?
are. You know, the only one that we have this year is the Tarzan role. Back last year, we did Annie, and had so many little girls who came from the surrounding areas to come and be Annie, and we had a fantastic little girl that did the part there.
And
this
she was
year.
from the area?
She was right around Warsaw.
Okay.
And then this year, Tarzan is the only one, so the kids that are going to be in those shows will be actually from Western Michigan, Chicago, New York. So yeah, wow.
Great. And then Lend Me a Tenor, wonderful, wonderful comedy. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Lend Me a Tenor is a classical farce.
Yes.
It's a comedy about mistaken identity, and a backstage door slamming comedy is what it's called. So yeah, that's another one that we would like to have some variety without the music. So it's just a straight show.
Okay.
And our season ticket holders love to have one of those as an option too. But that will be a lot of fun as well.
Oh, great. And then your last show is always Patsy Cline.
Right. Well, just like Elvis or the Beatles, Patsy Cline, her music is in our collective subconsciousness somewhere, you know?
It sure is.
Walking After Midnight, Crazy, I Fall to Pieces. So it's almost as if you get this Patsy Cline concert, a tribute concert to Patsy Cline, but you also get the great story of her friendship with a lady that she met while she was on her rise to fame. And tragically, Patsy Cline died when she was 30 in a plane crash. So
it was a housewife, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right, absolutely.
Housewife.
Yeah.
And so that's your season. And you also have a youth program. And can you very briefly tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Our youth program is set for, and we believe that theater is great for the community, it's great for education. We offer this to kids in 1st through 6th grade, summer theater introduction, and then 7th through 12th grade, we have a little bit more tougher, I guess.
A little bit more oomph.
Intense, right. So we teach them vocals, we teach them staging, and then they get to get on, at the end of the week, and the older kids 2 weeks, they get to get on stage before one of the shows. The younger kids on June the 17th will get to get on stage before Tarzan, and their family comes.
Oh, and they come and they enjoy that whole thing.
Yeah, it's a really good program.
Well, I wish we had more time, but unfortunately we don't. I'm just very excited that you are on here. So for more information about the Wagon Wheel Theatre and how to buy tickets, visit wagonwheeltheatre.com or call the box office at 866-823-2618. Arts Weekly will return in a moment.